Hello, and welcome to this week's online meeting of the Natural Rights Sangha. We usually start with a meditation, and we'll do so today. So please set your timer for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes, however long you wish. And we always do mindfulness meditations. We just focus on our breath and let thoughts go. And some people call this abidance rather than meditation, which is actually the preferred thing for those who are sages and talk about this. As in some sorts of meditation, we are trying to get something that's out there. But in abiding, we're abiding with all that is, including ourselves, which is a more realistic assessment of how things are. So let's meditate now. We'll call it that. And so sit up straight and relax, but with good posture. Shut your eyes and start focusing on the breathing. So start your timer. Then when it goes off, please start it up again. So here we go. Welcome back. This week, a subject came up in talking with a Sangha member, which I'm going to bring up. But as I do it, I'm going to read through the precepts, which are our guiding light. You know, the precepts is what makes us us. So to read through them, at all times I endeavor to refrain from harming any living being. At all times I endeavor to never take something which is not freely offered by another. At all times I endeavor to speak and listen mindfully without lies, slander, and gossip, and to never take any person's words, instructions, or prescriptions as true or meaningful without careful consideration. At all times, I endeavor to avoid unnecessary suffering by living without assumptions and expectations of others or myself as much as possible. At all times, I endeavor to maintain a healthy body and to engage in proper sexual activities. That is, I have sex only with other consenting adults. At all times, I endeavor to never consume, inject, allow, apply, or take anything natural or man made into or onto my body that I believe could result in injury, in damage to myself or others, in physical, social, or civil harm or abridgment of rights, in heavy intoxication, in highness to the point of inability to function, in passing out, in blacking out, and or in falling victim to unmindful or non-caring persons or entities. The question that came up this week in talking with a Sangha member was, is it okay to smoke dope? and and I asked, what do you think? And the person says, well, I'm not supposed to take anything that results in heavy intoxication or highness. And I said, well, you just answered your question. A little bit of dope to mellow out once in a while is probably totally fine, as long as you don't become a dangerous driver or do something illicit or pass out or whatever as a result. If it's just to relax, to have a nice evening, to go to sleep with, what the heck, you know, is it doing you any harm in that amount? Now, long-term usage, if you're smoking it, can you hurt your lungs? Yes. Can it kind of numb out a person after years and years of use? I've seen that happen. Do years and years and use result in paranoia in some people? Yes, I've seen that happen too. But occasionally using it to relax, not to the point of heavy intoxication or inability to function, that would seem to be within the precepts. Yeah. And again, consider this yourself. Don't always just take whatever I say as gospel. No one should be taken as gospel without careful consideration. And as I've said before, every true master, and I'm not saying I'm a true master, but every true master I know of has said the same thing. Make sure what I'm saying is right for you. Okay. Make sure it feels right. Okay. If it doesn't, don't go there. The only ones who try to tell you that, oh, you have to do it this way, it's the only way, those are the ones to avoid. Hmm. So, carrying on with the precepts, at all times I endeavor to assist the old, the physically and mentally infirm, the less strong and the young, to protect them from abuse and other harm, and to foster warmth and good humor with all. Warmth and good humor with all has been in some demand in America recently. There hasn't been a lot of warmth and good humor from one side aimed at the other. All right. Yeah, we have not had a lot of you can just imagine someone showing up on January 6th outside the Capitol trying to get the people marching to the Capitol to laugh and to share some good vibes, and not likely to happen. You know, and there are some people who are so convinced that they're right and everybody else is wrong, or an injustice has been done, or that the other side is totally nuts and they're full of lunatics and idiots and right wing fascist warmongers. It's a hard time. And hopefully, people will relax a little bit and look at things a bit differently coming up. But meanwhile, our task in the Natural Rights Sangha is to endeavor to not fall into that trap. All of the precepts pointed to not falling into that trap of labeling one side or the other, a stereotype. Oh, you voted for him, you must be this, yeah, or whatever. Okay. Is by staying in those places, things get worse or remain the same. Moving onward. At all times, I endeavor to respect all traditions and paths, as each can and has led some to truth, to oneness, to the divine, however it be phrased. If I had to try to become enlightened through music, I'd have big troubles, unless it was just appreciating music and nodding my head. If I had to dance or play music to get enlightened, I would be in big trouble. Some people have done this, but it's not my path. Um, there are many, many paths, and all are equally valid. And that, again, is why we say anyone who tells you theirs is the only way or theirs is superior to all others, run away fast. It might be for them, but for them to say that's true for everybody because it's true for them, or it was true for their master because he or she said so. No, 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 no. That's, boy, if there's one big lesson to avoid, that's taught here at the Natural Right Sangha. That's it, just to avoid that. The last of the precepts, and it encompasses all of them, of course, is I endeavor at all times to exercise generosity and compassion towards all living things, including myself, and towards our planet. Yeah. Now I know the camera's actually up there, but I see it here, so that's where I look. So if I, so that's just the way it goes. Yeah, outside me, out this window, you can see trees in the background, and you can see what looks like a white or gray sky. It is kind of a white or gray sky right now, but outside all day, deer have been grazing and laying down. Some of the young ones have been frolicking. It's very nice. There's a little meadow out there, a place they can buy. I have a salt lick out in the woods there, and the deer come by and they've really chowed down on that salt lick this winter. It was a big thing, and there's like this much left, but that's okay. I've got another one waiting for them. They'll be happy as soon as this one's about gone. Another big one will be out there. So, well, I guess that applies to the last precept: exercise generosity, compassion towards all living things. So, I have a hard time with flies and mosquitoes trying to bite me and things like that. I guess we all do, huh? Except for a few monks I knew who could have cared less. They were tough hombres, I tell you. All right. Well, hey, please send any questions, comments, or anything at all to the Natural Right Sangha, to Mark at naturalrightsangha.org, and I'd be happy to reflect upon them or answer them or go over them here for you. And I hope all goes well in these interesting times. Whatever decision you've made regarding to get vaccinated or not with one of the COVID vaccines, that's totally your call. If you're for it, if you think, okay, I've weighed the risks and this is good, cool, go for it. If you're going, no, it ain't for me, there's too much evidence, this is um, not been adequately researched, not safe, not doing what it's intended to do, etc. That's your call too, and we support you either way, whatever your call is, because it's your call. You got to go in here. That's what matters. Go to your inner knowingness, and you will. So let's end with the four measurables, and let's start with we. And so you can include in we yourself and all the people you love and care about and like and give you warm fuzzies, or whatever you want, whoever you want in this group. So choose one member of that group and look into their eyes, and let's do the four measurables. So please repeat. May we have happiness and the causes of happiness. May we be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we never be separate from the happiness that is free of sorrow. May we reside in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. Okay, next, let's do it for all, for every person, every being, dogs, cats, kitties, flies, mosquitoes, deer, birds, aliens, whatever, for all. So opening you up to all, and you are all. And all is you. But so is every other person, so don't get big-headed about it, right? So the four immeasurables for all. May all have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all never be separate from the happiness that is free of sorrow. May all reside in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. Thank you for being here this week, and good luck with your endeavors to keep the precepts, and blessings.